Hey guys, hope you're keeping well. It's Mikey here for another 5-minute masterclass. One that I am almost certain won't be 5 minutes. But however, let's see what we can do. Today I wanted to talk to you about 6 reasons why you don't get booked. Look, there could be a million reasons. Bear in mind, before we run through any of these reasons, I'm taking it as a caveat that you're a good DJ. Okay? Because the number one reason why you're not getting booked, if you're a shit DJ, is because you're shit. So bear that in mind. All of these reasons presume that you've gone away, you've done your work, and that you actually have the skills, you can show up and do the work. Because you're going to be looking through this list going, well, hold on, what if you're an absolutely pants DJ? I'm assuming that you're not. If you are, go fix that. And then come back here and we'll do the list. But for everybody else, let's go. Here's 6 reasons why you are not getting booked. The first and most obvious reason, and it's the one I see the most when I start coaching artists into bookings, it's very simple. You simply aren't asking the question. Yeah, sure, maybe you DM'd one promoter one time a couple of months back. Or maybe you asked a friend to hook you up with the promoter. Or maybe you went to a gig and tried to meet the promoter and you said hello for a minute. But, you're trying, but really, you're not asking the question enough. Are you pitching the promoters that you want to work with on a regular basis? Are you reaching out? Are you chatting to them regularly? Are you building relationships? Are you asking for the gigs? I'd love to play this club. I'd love to play that club. They're not going to kick your door in and ask to watch you perform. You're going to have to go and get it done yourself. Quite often, when I speak to artists, they have this mentality at the start. You know that National Lottery ad in the UK? If you're not from the UK, you won't know the ad. But basically, it was a giant hand used to come down out of the sky and it would be like, it's you. And the person would be like, whoa, I've won the lottery. And I quite often feel like that when I hear artists talk about, they're just sitting there waiting, just hopefully somebody will, pick them up, or maybe they'll hear a track that they've released on this label and maybe somebody will get in touch, and you're just literally sitting there rubbing your hands, waiting for the hand to come through the laptop. It's you. You have a gig next week. Doesn't happen. Sorry, you're going to have to put in the work. Or quite often people feel, if only I had a booking agent. Have you ever thought that? If only I had a booking agent or a manager and they could sort it out for me. Well, newsflash, a booking agent or a manager probably isn't going to work with you if you haven't got any gigs. They want to see that you're already playing, that you're already in demand. And then they want to know that, hey, can I add more on top of that? Can I bring more business to that? If you're somebody that's not playing, not gigging, hasn't hustled, hasn't got any gigs, probably, unless you have a smash hit, like you go from Martin Garrix in his bedroom to all over the place, he'll get a booking agent out of nowhere. But for the rest of us mere mortals, you're probably going to have to get some gigs first. So you want to start asking the question. I know it's uncomfortable promoting yourself, but you're going to have to just put yourself out there, reach out to some promoters, and start making some moves. Not just once, on a regular basis. Second reason you're probably not getting any gigs. You don't know who to ask. So let's say, Mike, I'm all for mailing as many promoters as I can get in touch with, but I just don't know who to ask. One of the things I do with all my artists when we start working together is build their hit list. Now, are you able to tell me in your city, in the next city over, in all the cities in your country, or maybe if you're in Europe, the surrounding countries, all the cities in the surrounding countries, who are the parties and the promoters that are perfect for you? They're booking acts just like you. They're booking acts that you aspire to be like. They're booking acts that you sound like. Can you give me 2, 3, 4 promoters in each of the main cities that you are perfect for? Probably not. Most people say, I have to go away and do my research on that one. If you don't know they exist, how the fuck are they ever going to know that you exist? Literally, this relationship is never going to happen. You're going to have to find out who the party is, who the promoter is, And start getting in touch. Start getting in their world somehow, because they're not going to do it for you, you know? And look, out of every 100 DJs out there that I speak to, there'll be one or two that say, hey, I got discovered, I got found. Great. The rest of us are going to have to put in some hustle. So you're going to need a hit list. Who are the promoters in your city, in the next city over? Let's say you're in the UK and you're based in London. Well, what about the promoters in Manchester, Glasgow, Birmingham, Brighton, Bristol? Not just the main one that like makes the news. What about all the other ones that are putting on cool parties that are perfect for you? Do you know all of those parties? Have you got a list of them? Do you know who the promoters are? Very important to get into their world. Start building relationships. This is a long career that you're on. You need to start digging your well before you're thirsty, building those relationships now. Bookings is all about relationships. So if you don't have any bookings, you have a who problem, not a how problem. You know how to do the gig. You know how to reach out and mail a promoter. So your problem is you don't have enough who's. So that is problem number 2. You need a hit list and you need more who's in your life. The third reason you're probably not getting booked is you're asking wrong. Let's say you do have some who's in your life. You know a couple of promoters that you want to play for and you've reached out. You're probably asking wrong. If you're not getting booked. If you're getting booked, you're asking right. Keep it up. What the fuck are you doing watching this? If you are, let's say, I want you to think of a time that you reached out to a promoter, okay? Did you DM a promoter and say, hey, if you're looking for any DJs anytime, I'm in the city, I'd love to play, or I love your party, I would love to play sometime, or whatever you said. Did you DM asking for a gig? Quite often what happens is DJs try to get married on the first date. Imagine you're going on a first date and you see the guy or the girl sitting at the bar and you rush straight in and you walk up and you go, do you want to get married? Get down on one knee and you propose. Now, unless you are some sort of godly Hollywood star that they're just awestruck by, maybe they say yes then. Maybe, if they're crazy enough. But for the rest of the normal world, you're going to get rejected. They're going to say no. When you ask a promoter in your very first exchange, before they've ever even replied or heard your name or know your music, when you ask them for a gig in that very first exchange, look, again, out of every 100 people to try it, maybe there's some gigs getting got. But for the most part, those mails are getting blanked or not getting a response. Look, here's the chart. Here's the timeline from you never having spoken to a promoter to getting booked. Okay? That's the timeline. Here is when you've spoken once. So maybe you've replied, they've replied back. Now you've spoken once. Most people, when I ask them, when did they DM a promoter about a gig? Quite often, they're asking for the gig here. In the very first mail. Which seems like a good idea when you do it, but now when you look at it on a chart, maybe at least just let them get to know you first, or her get to know you first. Maybe let them see what you're about, some of your music, a little bit of rapport first before you go in for the gig. Look, you can ask for gigs like this, but you're not going to get the most results. If you're asking for gigs after you've at least spoken once, you stand a bit more of a result. And if you're sort of asking for your gig in here somewhere, after there's been a bit of nurturing, they know your music, they know what you're about, you've had a chance to give them some kind of value, you stand a better chance. Everybody will always say, if you go down and spend some time at a party, get to know the promoter, you stand a better chance of getting the gig. Why is that? Well, it's because here's where you don't know them, here's where you've spoken once, here's where you've met at their party, here's all the time they've spent maybe getting to know you. And it just happens naturally. When you're reaching out to promoters online, You don't have time to do that. You don't have time to go to all the parties, or a lot of them will be abroad in other cities. So you want to speed that process up. But you just want to bear in mind, if you can avoid it, don't ask for the gig here. Ask somewhere here. Now, you want to speed this process up. You want to manufacture this process, and we can talk about that in other videos. But just try and avoid asking for it here before they've even heard of you or replied. Also, when you are actually pitching, and I'll go very deep on this in another video. I'm going to do another video in a following week showing you exactly how to pitch a promoter and get results. Most artists make it about themselves. You make it about you. So you reach out. I want a gig. I would love to come down and play. Can I get booked? If you want the pitch to be successful, put yourself in the promoter's shoes. What does the promoter want? Because I've gotten pitches sent to me before, and it's like, hey, if you're ever stuck for any DJs anytime, give us a shout. I'd love to come down and play. Right. I'm stuck for a DJ tonight. Says nobody ever in 2021, especially not a promoter. Nobody is ever stuck for DJs. That's the worst pitch ever. You want to make it about the promoter. What does the promoter want? Think about what's important to the promoter. Why does the promoter book who the promoter books? Obviously, they book the headline acts because they've got a following. They bring a following, and that following buys tickets. They sell tickets. It makes business sense. But what about the younger artists, the local artists, the emerging artists? What are those guys doing to get the gigs? Model that. Be of value to the promoter. Come at it with a partnership mentality. How can I help? What can I do? I'd love to be a part of this event. Again, there's a million ways we can do that. This is supposed to be a 5 minute masterclass. So I'm not going to go deep into that. I'll do that in a later video. But make it about the promoter. Come at it with a partnership mentality, and your pitches will be so much more successful and better received and less likely to get blanked. Okay? Next reason why you're probably not getting booked is if you've actually asked the question, number one. You've got your who's, you know who they are, and you're asking them questions, and you're giving them a decent pitch where it's actually, you're coming at it like somebody that's going to be useful, somebody that's a bit savvy, somebody that wants to get involved, help the brand, contribute to the party. Well, third off, maybe you're not active, but you're expecting activity. I've had loads of artists that reach out and they're like, oh, I would love this. This means the world to me. And I've been like, okay, you know what? It seems like I could make their day. So I'm going to give them the gig. And you just go, right, I'll just check their socials, just check their SoundCloud, and they haven't posted a mix in months and months. And you're like, that's not a person where this really means the world to you. DJs DJ. So DJ. Even when you're not getting gigs, if you want gigs, then you should be active. You should be posting on your artist socials as an artist. Be posting music, be curating playlists, putting mixes together, do your radio show. Even when you don't have gigs, show that you can promote, you're a DJ. DJ's DJ. So DJ, don't expect activity, don't expect gigs when you're not active. Okay? So you've got to do the work first and reap the rewards after. You reap what you sow. And in this case, all you got to do is stand behind two decks and play some tunes. Post it online. Tell your friends about it. Do it on a semi-consistent basis. And don't have your music socials full of tumbleweed. Activity. Next reason you are not getting booked, you think no means no. Ask yourself this, is this you? Have you ever reached out to a promoter that you wanted to play and they said, sorry, not now, for whatever reason? And you said, okay, I've got a no. On to the next one. And you've mailed the next promoter and the next promoter. And always in your head, that promoter that reached out and gave you the no, they're a no now. So you don't reach out to them again because they told you no. They're off the list. But they didn't mean no forever. They meant no for that event. That's a chance. They've replied back. Be courteous. Thanks. Amazing. I might still pop down. Share the promo or give it some love online. Give it some comments. Whatever. Reach out again. It's if you have your hit list, if you have your 10 or 20 or 30 events that you really want to play for, and you reach out to them, and you're going to get booked off some if you do the work in this manner. But if all 30 come back and say no, don't take them as no's. Reach out the next event. Do it in a different way. Follow up. Don't be a pest. Don't be a pain in the hole that never goes away. But be active. Show that you want to play for the event. Support it online. Give it some love on socials. Give it positive comments. And the gigs will come. No doesn't mean no forever. Just meant for that event. Keep hustling and you will get the events that you want to play if you're meant to play them. But you'll never get them if you give up after a no on the first go or the second go or the third go. Half of the amazing things I've got in life happened on the 5th or 6th or 7th time around. You built the relationship the first time, the second time, the third time because you had a little chat. They said no, they weren't into it. It's fine. It wasn't a no now. It wasn't a no forever. It was just a no for now, you know? Keep at it. Follow up, follow up, follow up. If you want it, you'll get it. And the final reason, which actually leads into the last one, the reason you are not getting booked, you're not consistent. You're not doing all of this consistently. Like I said at the very start, maybe you mailed a promoter last month or the month before, or you tried this, or you tried that. Do you know who your hit list are? The events that you want to reach out to. Are you reaching out to events on a consistent basis every week? Are you posting mixes consistently? Are you updating your socials consistently? Or are you just mean to get around to it? Because if you're putting out your musical content on your socials in a creative way consistently, you're reaching out to promoters consistently, you're doing everything that you need to do consistently, you're going to get gigs. If you do it every now and then, you're going to get gigs every now and then. We want consistently. Do these. I always can't match my fingers to the number. There we go, 6. Do these 6 things consistently and you will get booked. That's just the way it is. Let's see, 17 minutes. What a 5-minute masterclass. Hopefully I'll learn how to get these under 5 minutes, but I probably never will. So thanks for watching. I will see you in the next episode of 5-Minute Masterclass. See ya. Bye. Hey, thanks for watching my video. If you've made it this far, please do me a favor. Like, subscribe so you can get all the future content, and let me know in the comments what you thought of this video. But more importantly, if you're a DJ that wants to get more bookings, if you want to lock in better clubs, better festivals, and more of them, I want to give you the system that we use to do this with DJs. I want to give you the full blueprint, all the training to run you through it, and any of the tools and templates that you need. There's a link in the description down below where you can go and get it now for free. Go help yourself. Let me help you. Let's get you booked together. The link is below. Did I mention like and subscribe? Like and subscribe. Thanks for watching. I'll see you soon. Cheers. Bye-bye.